Honourable Prosper participated in the Oecs Agriculture Ministers' Council meeting for the first time, having assumed office after the St. Lucia Labour Party's victory at the polls a little over a year ago. Oecs countries are pursuing the development of agriculture in an environment where climate change, conflict between nations and other issues including pandemics negatively impact the desired outcomes.
We would know the whole issue of COVID and how it impacted the sector. After COVID, we saw the war between Ukraine and Russia and how it has affected the global supply chain and the issues with high cost of fertilizer and other farm inputs, high cost of feed. Climate change is impacting the sector in a very big way, and our farmers are continuing to play their part in ensuring that we continue to feed our nation, we continue to ensure that we have sufficient foods, nutritious foods for our populace. So we were really discussing strategies and actions that would be geared at, impacting positively the sector, especially the impact on the livelihoods, the farmers, the fishers, the agro-processors, the livestock farmers, all those persons who continue to make a contribution to the sector. And there was an urgent request for us to work closer together. This meeting today, the last time it was done physically was in 2017. So it's about 5 years since we had this meeting physically. And I was happy for the first time because I'm new in this thing. I'm just a year and 3 months as minister. And it was very good to participate in this meeting to really bring some relief, to really work together to deal with the issues that confront us in the agricultural sector head on.
The Honourable Prosper says Oecs member states share common problems, and going forward there ought to be greater collaboration in fighting the challenges confronting Oecs agriculture. He also believes there is a place for technology and innovation that young people can bring to agriculture in light of the aging farmer population.
We have been in the past working, in isolation from each other, and I think there is an urgent need, a critical need for us to integrate, for us to work closer together, because the problems, the challenges, the issues in the Oecs countries are not different from St. Lucia to Dominica. They are more or less common issues that I think we can address. But the bottom line is we have to understand that climate change is having a very, very negative impact on the agricultural sector, and there is an urgent need for us to build resilience in that sector, because water is important for agriculture, and without water you have a problem. Our soils are important if we have to produce high quality foods, nutritious foods, high yield. But at the same time, we have issues in terms of movement of our goods from St. Lucia to Barbados and from Barbados to Dominica. So we have to be able to address those challenges, because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that the farmers can continue to make money out of agriculture. We want to ensure that they can continue to be motivated because of that passion they have for that sector. And so the end of it is they expect that the governments that represent them will be able to give them that support that they need at this critical juncture, so that they can make a profit, they can reduce the cost of production. I want to see a lot more technology into the sector, mechanization, and really for us to attract a lot more younger persons into the sector, because our older folks, they are in the mid-60s, in the early 70s, and they are on their way out. But for us to be able to attract younger folks to bridge that gap, we must do it differently. So we need to begin thinking out of the box, and we should never believe that our young people will be doing the same things that our older folks have been doing. They want to see that they can use the drones to do their spraying, and they don't have to be physically pumping that knapsack sprayer. They will not take a garden fork and plow a piece of land for you for an entire day. But if they have a small tiller, they will do that in a few hours. That kind of technology is needed in the sector, because there are tremendous benefits for it. And at the end of the day, it's about the farmers making a greater profit for the survival of themselves and their livelihoods.